Sauce Gardner's first game as a Colt. We're going to talk about the good and the bad. He had 6 tackles and 1 pass breakup. So we're going to start off with the good. He was able to get this almost pick right here, able to stick his foot into the ground and come up with this, but you got to come up with it. He did give up a touchdown in the red zone right here. It looks like he kind of lost his footing. And this is supposed to be his bread and butter right here. You can't have that happen, but I believe he will recover. He also lost his footing again on this play. Would look like it was supposed to be a switch off with him going to the zone and the linebacker going to the flats right here. It looked like he was trying to stick his foot.
What happens when one of the NFL's brightest young cornerbacks goes from being the hunted to the hunter, from record breaker to trade deadline shocker? Sauce Gardner emerged out of Detroit with swagger, grabbed the spotlight in New York, signed a contract that seemed to guarantee his legacy, and then in a single afternoon became the centerpiece of a franchise shakeup that left jaws dropping across the league. The question now isn't just how good is he, but what's happening behind the scenes? Because with Gardner, nothing has been quite as it appears, and the next chapter might be the most explosive yet. Rise from Detroit to draft day. Sauce Gardner's path began in Detroit, where he grew up at Martin Luther King Jr. High School, tall, lean, fast closing, a corner who dared receivers to run at him, earning the nickname Sauce for his effortless style and confident bravado. After starring at the University of Cincinnati, becoming a first-team All-American and AAC Defensive Player of the Year, the Jets came calling, and the New York Jets selected him 4th overall in the 2022 NFL Draft. That decision instantly raised eyebrows. One franchise betting everything on a rising star in his most vulnerable early years. And even before he stepped onto an NFL field, whispers rippled, is this the next generational lockdown corner? The buildup was real, and the anticipation electric. Immediate impact and rookie domination. Gardner didn't wait around to make good on that hype. In his rookie season, he was named Defensive Rookie of the Year and became the first cornerback since the AFL-NFL merger in 1970 to earn first-team All-Pro honors in each of his first 2 seasons. He dominated from day one, refusing receptions, locking down elite receivers, turning games into his personal showcase. The Jets envisioned their defense built around him. Size, speed, instinct, a perfect storm. But all that dominance also came with mounting pressure. When you're proclaimed elite at 22, the margin for error vanishes fast, and every step, every shift, every blow-up becomes a headline. The contract that shocked the league. Enter July 2025. The Jets locked Gardner into a 4-year, $120.4 million extension. Average, $30.1 million. $30.1 million per year, making him the highest-paid cornerback in NFL history. For a young defender still carving his legacy, the move was bold. It was loud. It announced to the world, I am the standard. Gardner publicly said, there ain't no roof, signaling sky-high expectations. Some critics pointed out his 3rd season wasn't as dominant as his first 2, but the check was signed. The spotlight blazed. The contract instantly rewrote value at his position. Money talks, and Gardner's deal screamed. The unexpected slide and hidden pressure. Then, just as the narrative seemed sealed, cracks appeared. Performance dipped, the Jets' team record faltered, and injuries and game day misses began creeping into the equation. When you're the highest paid at your position, every dropped throw, every completion allowed becomes magnified. Gardner admitted he still had all areas to improve, even underlining his own confidence. I know there's a floor, but there ain't no roof. The weight of the money, the hype, the expectations, those weren't just numbers on paper. They were a visible burden. And in New York's unforgiving media market, that burden eclipsed even the talent. The blockbuster trade nobody saw coming. In November 2025, the NFL world jolted. The Jets traded Gardner to the Indianapolis Colts in exchange for 2 future first-round picks, plus wide receiver Adonai Mitchell. To have given up the player who just signed the biggest contract at his position? Unheard of. To have done it mid-season while pulling the plug on a defense built around him? Wild. The trade shook up playoff ambitions, strategic visions, and the mold of what elite cornerbacks mean to franchises. New York reportedly at 1-7 pushed the reset button. Indianapolis, sitting at 7-2, hit the accelerator. Gardner, tied to huge money, uprooted. The shockwaves spread far beyond East Coast headlines. New chapter in Indianapolis, hope or risk? Now a Colt, Gardner steps into a team with momentum, a defense that believes, a city ready for elevation. He said it himself. The move felt like a blessing, closer to home, closer to where he played college ball. But that optimism comes hand in hand with massive risk. Will he adapt to a new system, new teammates, new city, and expectations that shift overnight? The Colts are betting he becomes the missing piece for a Super Bowl run. If he delivers, the trade will go down as genius. If he falters, it could mark the turning point of a star's career. Either way, the story just took its boldest twist. Off-field persona and the Sauce brand. Despite the spotlight, Gardner's off-field persona remains intriguing. He hasn't just accepted the nickname Sauce. He's embraced it, built a brand, leaned into his confidence with humility. He took time to send signed jerseys to viral young fans heartbroken by his trade. He's navigated big money without flashy excess, drawing admiration for how grounded he seems. The Sauce brand is more than style. It's promise, swagger, expectation. But the biggest question, can a brand built on elite status survive a wholesale change of scenery? Because when you're both product and promise, the trade-offs get personal. What this means and what's next. So what do we make of it all? From meteoric rise to record contract, to blockbuster trade and fresh start. Sauce Gardner's journey is far from linear. He may already be one of the most gifted cornerbacks of his generation, but the next chapter defines the legacy. Will he deliver on the money, prove the Colts made the right call, silence critics with championship-level play? Or will the trade mark the moment expectations outpaced execution? Whatever happens, one thing's for sure. We're not talking about only what he's done. We're watching what he chooses to do next. The clock is ticking, the stakes are high, and the Sauce era is just getting started.
He was so happy. Everybody throughout the building was always saying, like, he always spoke highly of me. And obviously that made it easier, for me to be here. Obviously everybody already knew who I was as a person and a player. But, I would just tell him, like, bro, I'm not going to be brother-in-law on you in practice and stuff like that. Like, we always joke and things like that. So, no, it was just great. He was super pumped. I think he called me before our GM called me. But like I said, I was laying down with my girl, so I wasn't picking the phone up at that time. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was about. But I kind of wish I would have answered the call, because I kind of would have knew. But, I got the call before my agent got the call. I got the call before anybody got the call. So, it was great to just find out from them in a great way. So